Greetings, everybody. This is Leon with Pride in Providence, and today I have a returning guest, Councilman Jim Taylor, and we're joined by City Council Pro-Temp Mike Correia. And we're going to do a little update on Ward 8, and we're going to talk about Ward 10. Six. Okay, I was close off by 4. Let's do this. Here's how I do my show. I usually, talk about, where you guys are from, let people, who, I'm sure everybody knows who you guys are. I like to call you guys like the dynamic duo of the city because, it's like I watch you guys online on Facebook and you guys are like, well, okay, it's like that 100 good deeds thing. It's like, okay, well, you move mattresses. Okay, well, I clean this place. Well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And it's like, it's fun to see you guys do it. And it's like, it's all for the city. And it's like, people, I don't know if we enjoy it, but it's like, it's just a lot of fun banter to watch, not so much the competition. I don't think it's more of a competition. It's just like what needs to be done and what feels right. And I think if most people saw it that way, it's, it's a lot easier. So like I said, being how I start my show, let my audience know a little bit about who you are that don't know you.
So again, my name is Michael Correia. I grew up in the Mount Pleasant section of Providence. I've gone to the Providence school system. I've been involved in my community just about all my life. The late Councilman Joe DeLuca, I worked with him on some neighborhood issues and neighborhood programs and whatnot. Joe stepped down due to some health reasons, and the community reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in running for his seat. I thought about it with my family. We agreed that we would do it, and I was elected overwhelmingly, and I've been going on to my 3rd term right now, 9 years. I enjoy what I do.
Before politics, what were you doing?
I used to do painting and home improvement. Okay,
and during that time, what was the one thing that's like, there's something, I got to get more involved, or something. I know I can do something for my city beyond what I'm doing for my neighbors or the people that employ me. There's something out there better that I can do.
So, I mean, I was already pretty active in the community, and like I said, we were doing a lot of positive things in the neighborhood as community events, cleanups, just overall making sure that the quality of life was better for the residents of Ward 6, the Mount Pleasant, Manton, and Fruit Hill section of the city. And I thought that I could add more by being a elected official. So that's why I chose to run.
Being an elected official, and I've asked him this question before, and you said this is your 3rd term. What have you seen, what have your challenges been in the beginning? What have you been able to see to come to fruition? And then what are your next challenges or goals?
So the challenges that I find in the city is that it's like basically we're all fighting the same quality of life issues in our neighborhoods. One would be the illegal dumping of trash. The second issue would be making sure that the infrastructure of our neighborhoods are kept up to par and being properly repaired, such as sidewalks and streets. But overall, most importantly, is that that our school children have a safe, dry and warm place to get an education in our neighborhood schools.
And I know you were a major advocate of the ATVs running around in the neighborhood and getting those taken off the street and destroying those, and it's like rallies about how that. And I've noticed usually during the winter it calms down, but like I said, you've been a major advocate. Are you in the upcoming legislative session trying to propose anything towards that or working on that?
So myself and my colleagues, we continue to work on different legislation that needs to be put in place. Every year we get feedback from the police, whether it be the men and women that are out there patrolling the neighborhoods, or if it's the police chief or the commissioner himself. Right. So anytime that they came or come to us with new ideas and new suggestions to better do enforcement, we listen to them and we amend the ordinance to whichever way that we need to.
Mm-hmm. And segueing over to your colleague here, like I said, a dynamic duo. The last time you were here, you were talking about a couple of things that you were working on. You know, the Christmas tree lighting.
Yeah, no, we had a successful Christmas tree lighting, first annual in the controversial Columbus Square.
Right. Still a triangle.
Actually, we had a quorum there. We had 8 people, I think, council people.
It's a triangle, not a square.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But no, it was a good turnout. It was cold.
Yeah.
But you know, the canteen, thank the canteen for coming. They were there with the hot chocolate, and it was a good time. Like I said, the first annual. Next year, this year I'm doing Columbus Square.
You had a live performer.
Yeah, we had Mac Odom from the, used to be from the Roomful of Blues. He came out and sang Christmas songs, and then Council President Pro-Temp over here found out it was my birthday, so they had to sing Happy Birthday to me.
Okay.
They put me on the spot. They put me on the spot.
Right.
But no, it was a good turnout.
Yeah.
I had a DJ, and this year coming up, I'm doing the Columbus Square, redoing it, putting lights and tables and benches and stuff, and you know, so we were next year we'll have a different view, you know, of the Columbus Square, because that's where my money is going into.
Right. Despite the controversy that we won't go to over the statue, it was the Christmas tree lighting and everything else that sort of, you know, brought the neighborhood back together. Right. And, you know, it was, like I said, the display was really, really nice, and the fact that, you know, it was up for a really long time, which was really, really cool. Yep. And you were telling me just earlier when we were talking that you guys have been working on some projects together too. You guys, why don't you tell me about that?
Thanks to the president, Sabina Matos. She,
who we want to get on next.
Yes. So I went to her when I first came on and asked if I could start up a public safety committee. Okay. And we did. I'm the chair and he's the vice chair. Okay. And actually, I'll let him talk about it a little more because he knows more than I do. But one of our first agendas we did last year, if people can remember, was that we were very adamant about closing 60 Ernest Street with the water coming in. And everything. Right, exactly. And he can tell you about the updates.
Yeah, that was, like I said, that was your other thing that you were advocating for. That was it the registry, or was it
registration?
Registration, right. And then how was that?
He can give you the update on it because it just came in actually.
So there was many issues down at that building that were brought to the attention of both myself and Councilman Taylor, right, by the men and women that work down there in that building. I was asked to come down. I was showed the inside of the vent station. There was water that was pouring in. Right. There were trip hazards. There were rodent droppings. It was just a very unsafe building. So we were able to get it through the committee and whatnot, and we were able to get everybody moved out of the thing out of the building to the VIN station, to the public safety complex garage, where they're in a dry, warm, secure facility. And the rest of the departments, such as traffic engineering, the sewer division and whatnot, were moved to various locations across the street at 700 Allens Avenue into a much cleaner and safer environment. And then we moved forward. The building was deemed unfit. Right. The city ended up went and boarded it up just this past Monday. Okay. We awarded the contract to Bill Ray Demolition to demolish the building. So once all permits and everything is all in place, hopefully by, I would say, mid-February, the end of February, the latest, that 60 Ernest Street building should be down, and that the next phase will be the planning of the new site for a $30 million DPW complex there at the same location.
Well, that helps, and I'm sure that helps the morale and helps everybody out as far as, getting that building taken care of, and your people, in the buildings and things like that.
Yeah, most importantly, I mean, there should be no employee should need to be working in those types of conditions or that environment whatsoever.
Right.
I know that myself, if I had to, I would be filing grievances or whatever that needed to be done to make sure that I didn't have to be subject to those types of conditions.
Right. Now, another thing I like about both of you guys is, like this being Rhode Island, like they say, being a small state, your politicians are more local and more accessible. How, it's like you constantly have your little, constituent meetings at your favorite Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes.
And it's like, how does that, is that always been something that you do? Is that way you connect with your constituents? It's like, hey, come and have a cup of coffee with me and sit down and let's talk.
So I have an open door policy. You can contact me 24/7. I answer my cell phone 24/7. I have people that come to my home, ring my doorbell, speak to me, come to City Hall, speak to me, or just reach out to me and say, hey, listen, can we meet at somewhere, the local Dunkin' Donuts,
right.
Bakery, anywhere, and I meet with them. Most of the time, they'll reach out to me and say, hey, listen, can we meet at Dunkin' Donuts
right.
on Belmont? I go there. A lot of people know that I show up on a
right.
Saturday and a Sunday morning.
Right.
I'm there between 9 and 9:30. They'll pop up. Even if nobody calls to schedule, I'll go in there to have a coffee and a bagel, and people will come in and talk to me. So I make that known that I'm there. You want to come and talk to me? I'm there.
Do you find that makes, like with you, and it's like you said, you were explaining to me earlier that like I said, you're the senior council person, you're the freshman. You were saying you've learned, what's some of the things that he has explained to you, or
I've learned a lot.
Giving you privy to that, that's sort of made your quest for and getting things done on the council easier.
Well, I've followed, I want to say I copycat, but I have copycatted a lot of stuff he's done. I meet, same thing, Dunkin' Donuts, but the reason I do it is because a lot of people in my ward can't get to City Hall or find parking to do everything. Right. Plus, it's hard to say no to a donut. But,
and then also, I want to know, we're not, there's no endorsement from Dunkin' Donuts.
No,
here,
no,
so.
No. But I go there, do the same, meet with the people,
right.
and discuss issues. Plus, I also have community meetings. But I've learned a lot from him before even being a councilman. We were just talking about earlier that 6 years I played Santa for him.
Right. Okay.
And my fiance Monsi's played Mrs. Claus. So we've been involved with his community just as well as mine.
Okay.
But I've learned a lot as far as like the Easter egg hunt.
Okay.
This year I'm having an Easter egg hunt as well as he. Mine's
right.
April 4th at West End Rec Center.
Okay.
His is April 11th at
George West.
George J. West.
Okay.
So I do that. He does. I've copied that from him really.
Right.
I've copied he does the Christmas party. I did the Christmas tree lighting.
Right.
But we also, what else do we do that we have? Oh, the Halloween party.
Right.
I do a Halloween party, and he's done the Halloween party before I do. I did, and I've tried to, I call him my mentor,
okay.
but I've tried to follow what he's done because it's very important that I see in his ward over his 9 years he's been there,
right.
of bringing the community together.
Right.
So that's what I want to try to do in Ward 8 because that hasn't been done.
Right.
And that's what I want to try to build up. I mean, he's just, he blows me out on the parties because he's been doing it. Everybody's like, oh, I know, even the carnival. Like
right.
He's responsible for doing the Rockwell Carnival, and I copied that last year. And
right.
Which was good, but
yeah.
his is like
well, like you said, he's been doing it for 9 years.
His is like going to a Red Sox game. Mine's like going to a Pawtucket Red Sox game.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
And that's another thing is like doing all these community events, because these are, in my neighborhood, there's individuals that can't afford, an Easter basket or
right.
Easter candy and stuff. They live.
You represent the neighborhood that you
week by week or
right.
month by month when it comes to paychecks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I like to give back. Same thing with the carnivals. Right? They've been doing a carnival now with Rockwell Amusement.
Right.
It's been doing it going on. This is going to be the 9th year of doing a carnival there. What this basically does is what Rockwell does is it brings Disney World or Disneyland to the Mount Pleasant neighborhood and gives the kids the opportunity and families from the opportunity to come to a neighborhood carnival, folks, and it's like a Disney atmosphere for individuals that can't afford to make it there to Florida or to Anaheim, California, or whatnot.
Because there's there's no more Rocky Point.
There's no more Rocky Point. There's no more Jolly Charlies. There's no more Crescent Park. There's no more of that stuff.
What was the one that was down in Westerly that recently closed down a couple of years ago? There was,
I think, the Enchanted Forest that was there.
That was one, not Westerly, but down that way.
So Rockwell comes in. They do a nice event for the thing. They give back to the community. Right. Gives back to a local nonprofit. Last year he gave to the FOP Children's Christmas Party. Okay. The year before they gave to the Jocelyn Recreation Center. They gave to the food pantry. So every year he gives back to something. So, he comes, but he gives back to the community, as well as he gives a lot of free VIP bracelets to some of the neighborhood children that can't afford to ride the rides as well. But I'm all about the community, giving back. You give me the opportunity to represent you for the last 9 years, and I want to give back to you, and I want to make sure that, you have a neighborhood that you can be proud of, that the quality of life there in the neighborhood is great for you to live, but most importantly, to raise your family, your children, have a safe, clean environment, neighborhood to come out and play and enjoy.
Well, being that both of you guys are family oriented, I believe both single fathers for a long time. So, that's another connection that you have. So, and it's, me, myself being a, stepfather, and it's like, having that, wanting to be, very important. It's like, it's that extra effort that you guys give. And it's like, how do you find, being single dads, and then I was a product of a single mom, how do you find that energy to take care of your family? You had two boys,
one girl,
and that's that's teenage. I've got a teenage daughter, who just turned 13. Oh my God! But so how do you get that energy to take care of your family and then also take care of your neighborhood?
Mine was easier because I included my kids.
Okay.
When I was out, doing mattresses or whatever, they were dressing up as Sparky or whatever, going to his stuff. Right. My son was doing that, dressing up as Easter Bunny. Matter of fact, we've got to get him again to dress up again to, for his Easter egg, because I went and bought my own Easter Bunny costume. Okay. So we share it. Like, he uses it and I use it. That's why we don't have the same days. Right. No, we don't have the same days. But I've always included my kids in the cleanups. Right. And so it was easier for me. I think his daughter was older, so.
Yeah, so my daughter was always, she was involved into some of the community events, volunteered her time and whatnot. My daughter now is 26 years old. Right. I have two wonderful grandsons.
Yes, you do.
I have a wonderful son-in-law. Right. That is in the military.
You're very proud of your family.
So they're down. They're down in. They've done a lot of traveling. Yeah. They've gone from South Carolina to North Carolina to Georgia to Texas, and now they're in Missouri.
Okay.
He's going on 10 years in the military.
Well, if I can, I will let him know. I always say, with any opportunity, thank him for his service to us.
Thank you.
And your daughter for the sacrifices that she makes.
Right now, here in Providence, it's just me and my mom. Right. But I have other brothers and sisters. I have other siblings. But my mom is always with me all the time. Yes. She has a birthday coming up on Monday.
Shout out to Betty, yes.
Right.
Yes. She has a birthday coming up on Monday.
She's like your American Express card.
I won't give the age because I'll get slapped.
You'll get happy birthday next week, Betty.
Happy birthday, Mom.
She's a wonderful mom and raised us all well. But again, it's family comes first. Yeah. But they're older, and she's older, and now I spend the majority of my time taking care of the community. And just if quickly there's some good things happening that are coming up this year in the hopefully around March.
Camera one.
In March, we're going to be breaking ground for a state-of-the-art skateboard park.
Nice.
Located off of the Woonsocket bike path on Manhattan Avenue.
Yeah.
We're going to continue doing neighborhood improvements. We have a whole list of about a half a dozen neighborhood streets that are going to get repaved. We're going to be redoing all the sidewalks in the business district along Atwells Avenue.
Okay.
And we're just going to continue on doing some major infrastructure improvements once again this summer and spring up in the neighborhood. We currently have Engine 15, the Mount Pleasant Fire Station, is going under a major renovation once again inside there. So
is that was that to increase? Is it to decrease response time? Is that how that works?
No, it's the fire station was just I believe it's one of the oldest or is the oldest fire station within the city of Providence.
Okay, so it's just about time.
It needed, I've done some major repairs before. I put in a brand new kitchen in there for them. We painted the apparatus bay. We put in new shades, etc. But it needed some structural repairs inside and both outside. So, last year we put a new roof on. This year we're going to be repointing all the masonry brick. Inside they had to repair some beams and flooring and whatnot, remove some asbestos. The apparatus bay is getting